Hey guys, so the Canon M50, pictured here, is probably one of the best all-around vlogging cameras that you can use. It's small, it's lightweight, it's inexpensive, it's got this awesome flippy screen so you can see what you're doing. It's a lot of fun to use, and we've been using ours for over a year and a half now for all the videos on this channel, and it really is top-notch. But there's one setting you want to make sure you have right every time, and it's something that you have to be aware of to make sure that your videos are the best quality. So stick around. So the M50, like a lot of digital mirrorless cameras now, has, for video purposes, in-body image stabilization. Basically where they kind of crop the sensor a little bit and digitally stabilize for when you're hand-holding like I am right now, it doesn't get too shaky or anything like that. So it's great to use, especially if you're going to be walking around vlogging. It definitely stabilizes the image just enough to smooth things out so it doesn't look jerky. But you can turn that stabilizer on or off depending on what you're using it for. So let me show you a little bit of video here. This is me walking with the stabilizer on, and you can see it's, relatively smooth. Now here's me walking. I've turned the stabilizer off now on the menu, and I'll show you how to do that. Here's me walking with the stabilizer off, and you can see it's a little bit more shaky. You get a little bit of jerkiness to it. Putting the stabilizer back on now, you can see it's a much nicer, smoother appearance. So that works great for when you're walking around holding it by hand. But what happens when you put the camera down? What happens when you stabilize it by putting it on a tripod or on a table and leave the image stabilizer on in the camera? Let's see what happens. Now I have the camera mounted on the switch pod, and the stabilizer, the digital stabilizer in the M50 is on. So you're gonna see that even though the stabilizer is on, the camera is perfectly still already. It doesn't need the stabilizer. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna have an effect where it's kind of trying to stabilize anyway, even though that you don't need it, because the stabilizer is on and it feels like it's supposed to be doing something, so it's gonna try to stabilize. So you're gonna get a little bit of a blurrier image because now the stabilizer is basically working against the situation where you have the camera stabilized on a tripod. So when you do have the camera on a tripod, you're gonna wanna make sure that you turn the stabilization off. So let's change that setting and see what that looks like. So here's what that looks like with the stabilizer off. And right away you can actually see there's a little bit of more space in the frame here. That's because with the stabilizer off, you're able to use the full frame and the camera doesn't have to compensate for anything by digitally cropping the image. So you get a little bit more out of your frame that way. Plus you get a better image because the stabilizer is not working right now to try to stabilize an image that's already stabilized. So it looks good like this, but then now when I go ahead and pick up the camera again, you're gonna see that it starts to get a little bit shaky like it was before. It's not as smooth and stable as it was with the stabilizer on. So let me put it back on one more time now just so you can compare, you can see what it looks like. So there it is, handheld with the stabilizer on. The M50 does a really good job of stabilizing. Not perfect, you want to try to stay as still as possible, but it really does help to smooth things out. So even if there is some motion, even if there is some movement, then it's not really as jerky or anything. It's just a nice smooth movement. So definitely does make a difference. So there you go. Definitely want to make sure that if you're on a tripod or on a table, you want to have that image stabilizer turned off. But when you pick it up and you go, you're going to want to turn it back on again. So you can actually save that setting under your saved settings on the green and all the way to the right of your menu. This way you can access it quickly, turn it on or off whenever you need to. So it's a good thing to know. I hope it helps you out. If you have any questions or anything, put them in the comments below. We love to hear from you. I'm going to put up videos here about shooting with the M50 for vlogging that we've done before. Great camera for vlogging, still highly recommended, so definitely check it out if you're interested in vlogging. It's a great camera to use. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time.